Good morning. My name is Ann, excuse me, and I'm here at the Woodlands Yoga Studio. And I want to say Happy Mother's Day to everybody out there. I was just talking to a friend of mine about the fact that some mothers on Mother's Day say, I'm doing yoga today, this is my day, I can do whatever I want and I'm doing yoga. And other mothers are like, oh, I have to be with my family and we do this and we do that, and so it's not an option. Whatever, and there's no right or wrong to it. It's whatever you need to do on Mother's Day. So, but anyway, I hope a good number of you are here that decided yoga is what you're doing. Actually, this is my daughter, Kyla, and I talk about her a lot, but she's in town this weekend for Mother's Day from Dallas. And so anyway, I asked her if she would be my demo this morning. So I'm going to be out on my mat behind the camera, huffing and puffing. And so I'm tired of huffing and puffing on camera. And I think that sometimes because the people that come to class here all the time, I mean, everybody knows everybody and all that kind of stuff, and I always tell people I am older than dirt, okay? And so, but a lot of times I've noticed on some of the online stuff, it looks like I'm older than dirt the way that I move around on this mat. So I thought, I love having Amanda out here, and I thought, Kyla would be a good change for everybody. The thing that I want to get across about what the practice is, and we call it that for a purpose. It's not really meant to be, if you guys have been watching, well, Karen always has with her classes someplace that she goes with it. So does Sue. Kelly, absolutely. Kelly's been in town lately. And I'm not like that. I mean, all of my classes are kind of like a practice. And what a practice is to me, it's just a discipline that gets you stronger and more flexible and prepared to do all the other stuff that other teachers are going to ask you to do, all the hard stuff and everything. That's just not what I'm about, okay? I'm about the real basic stuff. And so I consider, and y'all can go ahead and have a laugh about this, I consider all my classes to be basic. I really do. There's different levels of basic, okay, but they are all basic poses, basic sequences. Nothing tough about it. You just got to hang with it, okay? And that's not always easy. So anyway, that's what the practice is about. It's also about trying to do a little bit of a lot of different stuff and try and kind of to hit every part of your body. So we're going to get started. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to lie down on the block on a mat. And Kyla and I are really social distancing, so I'm going to get her, we weren't at dinner last night or breakfast this morning, so anyway, I'm going to get her to come lie with her shoulder blades on that block. Yeah. And so all that you're going to do is just lie here like this for a minute, and I want you to do some stuff with your arms, maybe cactus pose, arms out over your head, just anything that might feel good. And this is, I mean, admittedly, being on a block like this right at the get-go, this is a deep back bend right at the get-go. Okay. But it's just to allow your back to open up, and it's possible that some people's butts may not even be on the floor from this, i.e. mine's not. I realized that as soon as I came over to get out on my mat. But it's a way to open up your spine. So just do whatever you want with your arms, stretch. Try to allow your hips to settle as much as you can. Try to squeeze the block between your shoulders. And then bend your knees, put your feet on the floor, underneath your knees, and you're going to reach down and clasp your hands beneath your butt, okay, on the far side of the block, and then go ahead and lift into a Setu Bandha. The block's just going to kind of cut into you. You're kind of lifting into a back bend. And then lower your hips. And take your hands behind your head, behind the base of your skull. Put the soles of your feet together in Baddha Konasana. Draw the heels up as deeply as you can in towards your pelvis. And then release your hands to the floor on either side. Help yourself sit up. And then just draw the block down a little bit closer down towards the middle of your back as opposed to your shoulder blades. And then lie back down on the block. And you might have to go through the whole thing again of lifting your hips, whatever. Your hands can stay clasped under the base of your skull. So you're just really putting the back bend that you're trying to do in a different part of your back. And now draw your knees towards one another. Place your feet on the floor right underneath your hips. Hands clasped at the base of your spine. And then once again, lift your hips up in the air. It's a Setu Bandha, but now the block's just going to be kind of cutting into a different part of your back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together big time now because the block's no longer between them. So you can really squeeze them tightly. And then release by settling your hips. Put your feet back in Setu Bandha. In Baddha Konasana, pardon me. Okay, so his soles of the feet together. And just kind of stretch your arms over your head. Press the soles of your feet together deeply. And then swing your arms around to the side. Press your hands into the earth and bring yourself up to a seat. And we're going to ditch the block for a minute. Then go ahead and come around to all fours on your mat with your fingers pointing towards your knees. So your palms are flat, your wrists are facing the front of your mat, your fingers are pointing towards your knees. And then whatever would feel good to your spine here, a little bit of cat-cow. You can stay right with your shoulders right over your wrists at first, okay? And then as they settle into this, go ahead and try to take your hips back maybe a little bit and really put some stretch down the front of those forearms. And then release that and turn your hands over to where your fingers are still pointing towards your knees, but you're on the top of your hands with your thumbs pointing in towards the center, towards one another. And just continue to loosen up your spine. And then go ahead and put your hands down on the earth into headstand arms, so your palms will be together, your fingers clasping like a church steepling kind of thing. Your elbows are underneath your shoulders. Go ahead and you can probably move your knees back a little bit, tuck your toes, and you're going to push up into an easy dolphin. Let your head hang. Shoulder blades squeezing on your back though, so shoulders are working. And then just about an inch at a time, start to walk your toes towards your nose and hit a place where you need to stop and then just kind of stretch through the back of your legs. And then when you feel like you've done that, walk forward another inch or two and you'll hit a place where that's as far as you're going, and that's fine. Keep your chest moving towards your thighs, so your shoulder blades are squeezing. Chest moving forward towards your feet and your legs. And then release your knees out big and wide on your mat. Put your big toes together. Press back. Come into pose of the child. Take your arms in the air behind you and clasp them, palms together. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Your arms may or may not be straight. Doesn't make any difference. And then wherever they are, begin to tilt your pelvis towards the wall behind you. So you're creating a low back curve here, and you're going to start to take your hands over your head. And then take a breath. So bring your face 5 or 6 inches off the floor. Take an inhale and start to, keeping your hands up as high as you can, twist your chest to the right. So you got to hug your belly into your spine and you're looking to the right. Moving your arms up. And then slowly on an exhale, start to roll back through the center. And then inhale as you hit the other side and start to twist the other way. Stacking your left shoulder blade on top of your right. And then slowly start to exhale back to the center. When you get to the center, release your hands from each other, reach them forward on your mat, place them carefully, tuck your toes and push up into downward facing dog. And on an inhale, come forward into plank pose. Top of a push-up. Roll your upper arms out. Press into that space between your index finger and your thumb strongly. Kind of turn your hands out a little bit. There you go. Good. And then slowly lower your chest towards the earth. And about halfway you pause. And then push your arms back straight. Take an inhale and exhale. Push back into downward facing dog. Hug your belly into your spine, and on an inhale, come back forward into plank. And on an exhale, lower about halfway and pause. Push your arms straight on an inhale, and exhale back into downward facing dog. One more time, inhale forward. Exhale, lower halfway and pause. Inhale, straighten, and exhale, take it back. Walk your hands backwards towards your feet. Slowly come back to the back of your mat. Being in Uttanasana, pause here. And now prong your fingers, your left fingers, prong them and place them on the earth right underneath your face. And trying to keep your knees and your hips turned forward, okay? Take your right arm in the air. So it's a twist. Stacking your right shoulder on top of your left. Inhale. And on the exhale, you're going to swing to the middle and up to the other side. Left hand in the air. And release. First side again. And second side again with your breath. And release, come to the center, hang here for a second, and then just roll up your spine. Inhaling all the way up, arms all the way over the head, reaching for the sky, and Tadasana, hands in Anjali Mudra. Inhale, reaching for the sky. Exhale, dive forward. Place your hands on your mat and slowly walk back up into plank. Lower all the way to the earth, Chaturanga. Shoulder blades on the back, all the way down. Inhale into Cobra. Or Up Dog if your back's ready now. And then tuck your toes and push your hips back in the air through plank and into dog. Taking your right leg in the air, bringing the knee in towards the nose, and take your right foot on the outside of your right hand all the way at the top of your mat. Turn your left foot out, stand fully on the soles of both feet and reach for the left front corner of your mat. And just stretch your spine. Lift your right toes, press into your back foot, and then on an exhale, take your right knee farther forward. So it might come in front of your ankle. Reaching, stretch your spine, hug your belly in. Take your right hand behind your back, and then your left hand behind your back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, clasp your palms, and take your palms up towards the sky, with your elbows bent or not. The important thing is that your palms are together. And then from here, straighten the front leg. And on an exhale, bend back into the front leg. Straighten again. bend again. Release your hands, reach them into the air towards the left front corner of your mat. And then lower the hands to the earth, and you're going to walk your hands back towards your back foot. Now your right toes are going to stay facing forward. Your left toes at the back of your mat are going to kind of turn out now, all right? And you'll rock up onto your right heel. Your right toes will be facing the sky. You're bending into the left knee. Use either your elbow or your hand on the inside of that knee to push the knee back to the wall behind you. Inhale. Reach your arms into the air in front of you. Stretch. Straight out in front of your face. And then take your hands behind your back and clasp. Squeezing the palms together. Start to take the hands over your head. Squeezing the shoulder blades. Keep your head lifted. Head in line with the spine. And then release the arms. Reach them forward again. And on an exhale, lower, and you're going to walk right back up to the top of your mat where you came from. Turning the left toes now to face forward, not cockeyed back anymore. Right toes facing forward. And then roll the left heel up in the air. Place the hands and take the right leg back in the air, three-legged dog and downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward into plank. Exhale, lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale into cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg in the sky. Bring the left foot on the outside of the left hand. Turn the right toes out. Reach for the right front corner of your mat. And just breathe. Inhale. And push into the left knee a little bit more, stretching into that left hamstring, reaching with your hands. And then left hand behind your back. Right hand behind your back, clasp. Squeeze the palms together. Begin to lift the hands to the sky. And then straighten the left leg. And bend into the left leg. And again, straighten. And bend. Release the arms in the air. Reach for the right front corner of your mat. Press into the right foot, the one behind you. And now lower the hands, and you're going to start to walk the hands back. Turn the right toes out. Lift the left toes facing the sky. And release and reach your arms forward out in front of you. And then take your hands behind your back and clasp them, squeezing the shoulder blades together, and begin to lift the palms. Now the left leg is super strong. The quadricep is engaged, the hamstring is engaged. Push the right knee back towards the wall behind you, even though you're not touching it. And then release the arms in the air and reach into the center of the room. And then lower the hands and press the left foot down as you walk back. Place the hands, turn the right heel in the sky, and then take that left leg up in the air. Three-legged dog, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward into plank, and exhale. Take it back, downward facing dog. Inhale forward again, exhale lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Cobra or up dog. Tuck your toes and downward facing dog. Jump or step to the top of your mat, Ardha Uttanasana, and exhale full chest to thighs. And do it again. Inhale and exhale. Inhale all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana, reaching for the sky, and Tadasana, hands in Anjali Mudra. Inhale, reach for the sky. And exhale, dive forward, Uttanasana. Place your hands and step back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take the right leg in the air and draw the knee into the chest. Come forward into three-legged plank. Okay, so no, you were fine, Kyle. Yeah, the shoulders are right over the wrist. Okay, so lower the right shin right where it is. Turn the left toes down. Reach for the sky with the left arm. And then reaching the left arm over your head towards the front of your mat. Rolling towards the earth. Three-legged dog. And then downward facing dog. Inhale forward. Exhale, take it back. Same thing, second side, left leg in the sky. Knee to the chest. Come on forward and pause here. So hug in. And then lower the shin. Stand on the sole of the back foot. Reach for the sky with the right arm. And exhale, reach over your head towards the front of your mat. Roll on down. Place the hand. Three-legged dog. And downward facing dog. So same thing to start with. Right leg in the air. Draw the knee into the chest. All right, so hug it in and start to, from here, bring the knee more towards your nose. Bring it up, hug. So it's a real tight situation. And you're going to try to set, you're going to set your shin down again. You're going to try to set it closer to between your hands. Okay, and now do not move your right hand. Your right knee and your right hand are real close together. Turn the back foot down, stand on the sole of the foot, reach the left arm for the sky. Good. So you're in the same pose, but your knee and your hand are way closer to each other. Okay, and now what you're going to do is come up onto your right fingertips, and you're going to bring your left leg in the air. You're going to balance. No. That's your right leg. Put it back up where it was. You moved it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Good. Good. So it's harder to balance here with the hand and the leg, with the hand and the knee closer together. Okay, bring the toes around like you're going to touch your nose. In the air, straight leg, straight leg. No, you can't move the hand. That's the point. And then take the leg back. Yeah, it's harder to balance, and you just have to do that, okay? And then again, bring the knee, toes forward towards your nose. And now bend the knee and reach down and grab that toe in the air, okay? And bring the in front of you, yeah, like towards your nose. It's not easy, yeah. Bring the toes towards your nose, yeah. Good, yeah. All right, now what you're going to do is you're going to reverse your handhold on the foot, and the leg's going to swing back behind you, yeah. Foot to the butt. And the kneecap pointing towards the wall at the back of your mat. And then stack your shoulders, open up, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Good. And then try to blast this into a back bend. Blast that foot back. Good. And then very gently let go. Arm in the air, leg in the air. Nice. Good. And then reaching for the front of your mat, lowering the hands, reaching the back foot back, tucking the toes on the left leg, left foot, that's it, and kick the right leg in the air, three-legged dog. You go right back where you came from, and downward facing dog. Inhale forward into plank, exhale, take it back, left leg in the air, draw the knee into the nose, come forward into three-legged plank. Now you're going to hug in. You're going to hug the knee deep up into your belly, okay? And now set the knee down right between your hands, yeah, there you go. And then turn the back foot down, stand on the sole of the foot. You got to balance. Reach the right arm in the air. Good. Press into the outside of the back foot. Yeah, so really stand on that back foot and try to lift the inside of the leg, okay? And then reaching, pronging your left fingers, you're going to balance. You're going to bring the right leg up in the air. Right leg, right arm in the air. Good. Take a breath here, and then bring the toes around in front of you and touch your nose. Straight leg. Bring it in that direction. Yeah, try to keep that lifting the inside of that leg. Big time. Good. All right, and now you're going to bend the knee, and you're going to reach down and grab your right big toe, and then you're going to keep on bringing the leg forward. Okay, stretching through the back of the knee, stretching through the back of the hamstring. Yeah, very nice. And then reverse your hold on that foot. Okay, and you're going to bring the leg behind you, Bend the knee and back bend. Squeeze the shoulders together. Really try to pull the foot back to the wall behind you. Yeah. Very nice. And then arm in the air, leg in the air as you release and pause here for a second. All right, and then the back foot is going to, the top leg is going to step down, turn towards the earth, and the left leg will kick up in the air. Lower the hand, left leg will be in the air for three-legged dog. And then downward facing dog. Inhale forward into plank pose. Dog, Kala. Yeah, and then inhale forward into plank. Yeah. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale into cobra. Nice. And exhale back into downward facing dog. All right, right leg in the air. Step the right foot on the outside of the hand again. Okay. Lower the back knee. Come down to your forearms. Take an inhale. And on the exhale, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Excuse me, melt your heart towards the earth. Squeeze your shoulders more. Yeah, good. And then bend the back knee. Okay, and reach your right arm forward. If you need to come back up to your left hand at this time, please do so. Otherwise, just reach back with your right hand and grab hold of the left ankle. Good, and then roll that right shoulder blade back, stack it, squeeze it. Yeah, open up into lizard. Keep that, and then from here, roll to the outside of the right foot. Yeah, and then start to rock your hips back and forth across the mat, sideways. So you're pressing into that outer right hip flexor. Yeah. Good. Yeah. All right, roll back onto the sole of the right foot. Stand on it. Take an inhale and lift your butt in the air back towards your foot. Push it back, push it back. There you go. Roll your right shoulder blade back. Some more, Kala. Back. Yeah, good. Okay, and now from here, you've got your foot more attached to your butt. Now bring your torso and your head back forward towards the front of the mat. Yeah, so lengthen. Good. And bring that foot with you. Okay, the foot is just a deeper quad stretch for you. And then without letting that leg pop at all, just gently release the hand from the foot, but keep the foot where it is. Good. And then swing the hand back behind, in front of you, place it, tuck the toes, and push back into three-legged dog, and then downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, come forward into plank. And exhale, lower chaturanga dandasana. Inhale into cobra. And exhale back into downward facing dog. All right, left leg in the air. Bring the foot on the outside. Bring the foot on the outside of the hand. That is correct. Lower the right leg, right knee to the earth and come down to your forearms. And so just in this pose, it's so easy to let everything go. And I'm asking you not to do that. So you hug your belly into your spine. You're lifting your hips, but this doesn't change where you are. It just changes the muscle action of what you're doing. You're not hanging out. You're gripping. Okay? And then from here, Kyle, slide forward a little bit to where your front knee is over your ankle. There you go. More. There you go. That's better. Okay. And then from here, bend the back knee. Bring it up towards the buttock. Reach the left hand way forward. Take it back. Grab hold of the ankle. Now open up your chest. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. And here, this is just kind of an easy quad stretch. Most people should be able to do this with no problem. If you need to come back up to your right hand, that's fine. Okay, now roll to the outside of the left foot. And just roll your hips back and forth. Keep a lot of muscle integrity in that left leg. The left ankle bone should be pressing up and in. And then step back onto the sole of the right foot. And now you're going to lift your hips in the air back to your foot, okay? And you keep that belly hugging in, belly strong, squeezing into the core of the pelvis, and then just shift your torso forward. Take your head more towards the front of your mat. Come forward, and the foot just comes right along with you. The quad just stretches because you're not giving it any option. And then don't let it pop. Gently let go. Tuck the right toes. Place the left hand and step up. Three-legged dog. And then downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward into plank. Exhale, take it back. Downward facing dog. Jumper step to the top of your mat. Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, release. Full Uttanasana. And then do it again. Tabletop. And exhale, release. Inhale all the way up, reaching for the sky. And Tadasana, hands in Anjali Mudra. Inhale, reaching for the sky. Exhale, dive forward, Uttanasana. Place your hands and step back, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. By the way, that was the warm-up. Now we're warmed up, now we're going to begin, okay, just so y'all know. Those things need to be done every day. Those are some version of all that. A little bit of back bend, quad stretching, all that kind of little bit of balance, just every day. And then you can practice, okay? Or not. Yvette, get up. She's not here, she's at home, okay? But she's resting now, okay? Inhale forward into plank. And exhale, take it back into downward facing dog. Take your right leg in the air. Turn your left toes out and stand on the foot. Draw the right knee around and the right leg around. Come into eagle legs. Okay, so your left toes are facing out. Your shoulder blades are squeezing together on your back. And now inhale forward into plank like this. And exhale back into dog like this. All right, and now you're going to reach your left arm in the sky. So it's kind of a Vashi. So squeeze the inside of the thighs together. And now reach for the front of your mat. And now without undoing your legs, just roll towards the earth and push back into the dog situation with your shoulder blades squeezing. And then go ahead and take the left heel up in the sky. And now still, without undoing your legs, come forward into plank. And then exhale, back into dog. Take the knee, bring it into your nose. And then right leg in the air, three-legged dog. And downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward, plank pose. Pause here. Exhale, take it back. Downward facing dog. Left leg in the sky. Knee to the nose. Turn the right toes out. Stand on the foot and wrap the left leg around eagle, but your hips are still back in dog. And then inhale, come forward into plank, strong shoulders. Exhale, take your hips back. And then roll open. Take your right arm in the air. Squeezing the shoulder blades, squeezing the inside of the legs, reaching for the front of your mat, rolling towards the earth, but keeping your legs like this. So both hands are on the earth, squeezing the shoulder blades, push your hips back into dog. And then take the right heel up in the air, draw the left knee into the nose, and then three-legged dog, and then downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward. Plank pose, pause. Exhale, lower halfway. Push your arms straight and take your hips back. Right leg in the air. Turn the left toes out again, stand on the foot. This time you're going to reach back with your left hand. And in the air, you're going to grab hold of your right ankle. Good. You can make this a back bend if you'd like. You can make this anything you want. Okay? Try to take the foot up a little bit, Kyla, just for grins. Yeah. Nice. Okay. I'm just going to say release the arm and the leg. Don't. Take your arm in front of you in the air. Your leg stays in the air. Straighten the leg, and then release. Downward facing dog. Inhale forward into plank pose. Exhale, take it back, downward facing dog. Pause and breathe for a second. Left leg in the sky. Turn the right toes out. Stand on it. So stand on that foot solid, okay? Bend the top knee. Good. And then reach back opposite hand to foot. So right arm to left ankle. Good. And then, like I say, you can stay facing the floor. You can open this up a little bit Vashi-ish. You know, you can make it more of a back bend or not. This pose can be whatever you want it to be. Push into the heel of the back foot and really try to straighten that back knee. Good. And then the point here is to not just flop out of this pose. So keep the arm and the leg in the air, but just release them and just kind of be here for a moment, balancing. And then exhale, release. Come into dog. And inhale forward into plank. And exhale, lower. Inhale, cobra. And exhale back into downward facing dog. All right. Take the right leg in the air. Draw the knee to the nose. Step forward into warrior one. So in warrior one, you make the attempt to have your hip bones facing the wall in front of you. Okay? Now she can do that pretty decently with her back foot still turned to the side. Okay? A lot of people, myself very much included, I have to turn my back foot in more. So Kyla, turn your back foot in just to show them what I'm talking about. Your back toes. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so, and then press down into the heel. Yeah, see, that's what you have a tough time with. Lift the inside of that leg. Yeah, good. And now release your hands, take them behind your back and clasp them. Shoulder blades together on the back. So lift the front hamstring and move the front knee way forward. Yeah, not your body. Don't take your body with it, just the knee. Good. And so now you want to really feel this. My guess, you're really feeling it in your right butt cheek. Is that right?
Right hamstring.
Oh, you're right. I've always got a hamstring person in the room. All right, and inhale, reach for the sky again. That was a good long warrior one, huh? And now come into warrior two. And now come into warrior four. Keep pressing the front knee forward. Yeah. And now just stay in warrior four with the top part of your body, but straighten your front leg. And bend back even more. Take it back, take it back, take it back. Good. And then lift your right toes. Those are your front ones. And you're going to windmill into triangle pose. So straight front leg. Kyle, put that foot down. Nobody does that in Houston. That must be a Dallas thing. I don't know what that was. Good. And now reach your top arm into the center of the room. Very nice. And now reach your bottom arm into the center of the room. Beautiful. Yeah. Good. And then turn your torso towards the earth. Don't lose a thing. Squeeze your shoulder blades together on your back. So you lift your shoulders, you hug your belly in. And now simply turn your back heel up in the sky. There you go. Yeah. And then lower your hands to the earth. Right leg in the air, three-legged dog. And downward facing dog. Inhale forward into plank. And exhale, take it back into downward facing dog. Pause here and breathe for a second. Take your left leg in the sky. Draw the knee to the nose. And then step forward into Virabhadrasana 1, warrior one. Good. So in this pose, you know, another thing, like now, she has her back foot directly behind her front foot, okay, and that's fine, okay, but it's also fine to have your foot a little bit wider apart. I always kind of say hip distance like on railroad tracks. That's what I have to do. The reason that you have to change things like this is for the direction of your hips. That's the whole thing. You're trying to get your hips facing forward. So whatever works for you, and everybody is so different. Okay, so Kyla, you're really coming off of your front knee. So yeah, in fact, you might move your back foot forward. I think you might have slid a little bit. There you go. And yeah, try to get that front knee right over the ankle, all that good stuff. And now release the hands, clasp them behind the back, and push into that front knee even more strongly. Maybe you can get the knee in front of the ankle this time. Good. We're only doing Warrior One once, and so that's why I really want you to be able to get into that butt cheek. And so then reach for the sky again, and then turn this pose into Warrior Two. Keep pressing the front knee forward. Don't lose that as you come into Warrior Four. Lift the left toes and straighten the left leg. And now reach that left arm for the wall behind your head even more. Big stretch down the side of that torso. Very nice. Good. And then hugging your belly deeply into your spine and squeeze your shoulder blades together on your back as you windmill into triangle pose. So I'm going to point this out just because this will give us something to do while you're hanging out in this pose. But this is a perfect example, and a lot of people I think need to see this. Okay, so I'm going to come up to her. All right, so this pose is called triangle. Okay, to me for a reason. Here's her big triangle. Obviously, this is a triangle, and she has a really nice second triangle. Here's your second triangle. Okay, so it requires your torso to be a little flatter and everything like that. So there's the second one. And then here's the third triangle. Okay? Right down in here. And so, Kyla, take this hand now and put it on this leg right here. A lot of people do triangle pose like this. I'm not saying this is wrong, okay? What I am saying is that you've only got 2 triangles when you do this like this, plus the fact that you're pushing on your leg. So I don't love it, because you're supposed to be pushing into whatever you're pushing into. Okay, so I don't love this, and a lot of people do this. I don't love it. That's all I'm going to say. Public service announcement. Okay, so put your hand back where it was, Kyle. And now, excuse me, I'm sorry, reaching with your top arm, and then reaching with your bottom arm, hugging in at your belly. Now turn your torso towards the earth and don't lose a thing. Hug your belly in, squeeze your shoulder blades together. This is a strong pose, okay? And then just roll that back heel up in the air. Yeah, and keep reaching forward even more. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Lower the hands. 3-legged dog. And downward facing dog. And then inhale forward. And exhale, take it back. Jumper step to the top of your mat, Ardha Uttanasana, and exhale, full Uttanasana. Inhale all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana, and Tadasana, hands in Anjali Mudra. Okay, so now we're going to take a break to do handstands, okay? So, Kyle, I'm going to ask you to go over to that column, all right? And so, handstand people first. Just turn around. Yeah, other way. And yeah. And I want you just to go up into a handstand with your feet. Yeah. I want to step forward a little bit. Okay. Now go. And back up. Back your hands up. Okay. All right. And now you're going to go up into your handstand. If you have to back your legs up, that's okay. But I want you that far from the wall. Okay. So she's going to go up into the handstand in such a way that she's going to bend her knees and hit the wall. Okay. Yeah. And so what you can see here is that she's shin distance from the wall. Okay, she has ample space to put her feet. All right, and so then from here, so you handstand people, I want you to do this, and then I want you to take one leg off the wall, and try to take the other leg off the wall. And then both legs back to the wall. Okay? And I want you just to work on that. I just want you to work on a handstand in that manner. If you're a handstand person, this is how you're going to learn to balance. Okay? Which I haven't done, by the way. I can't balance. But that's a side point. All right, let me go ahead and come down, Kyla. And now, so handstand people, do handstands. Okay? And then if you're not doing a handstands yet, we're going to do L shape at the wall. So turn around and get down on hands and knees. We do the soles of your feet against the wall. Okay, so the soles of the feet are against the wall. She's on all fours. All right, and then she's going to tuck up into a very short downward facing dog. All right, and then she's going to put one foot on the wall behind her hips and then push up, and the other foot's going to go. So yeah, and she's going to walk up into a perfect L shape. That's more difficult for you to see over here, but walk your feet up a little bit. There we go. Yeah, and so this is just a real strong pose. Work these thighs, okay? You're working, obviously you're working your arms, you're working your shoulders, okay? But push the feet into the wall, work those thighs big time, and then from here, take one leg off the wall. Good. One leg off the wall. Oh, no, up in the air. Yeah, in the air. Yeah. Get rid of the dancer's foot. Yeah, yeah. And then take that back. And then take the other leg up. Yeah. And so just work like this. Yeah. Very nice. And so then I want everybody to just keep doing what you're doing. Work on handstand for a minute or work on L shape. So Kyla, you can turn back around and work on handstand if that's what you want to do. Okay. And so when you're working on balancing on your handstand, what we have a tendency to do is use the strength of our arms to do the pose instead of the strength of, and we're leaving our legs out of it. Yeah, and so the legs have to be absolutely as strong as the arms, okay? And so what that entails is you using the legs when you're up there. Act like you're squeezing a block between your legs or something like that. A lot of places, a lot of studios where they don't have enough wall space and people have to learn to do handstands in the center of the room, they actually do a thing where somebody puts their fist between your calves and lets you squeeze that way. Okay, and that is, the point of that, and you can balance in the center of the room like that, and that's the point of it. You're having to use your legs. Okay, so everybody take a couple more breaths and then start wrapping it up. Jason pulling shenanigans behind the camera. Making me laugh. Okay, everybody come back to your mats. All right, and now we're going to do some more back bending. We're going to start with camel, so I'm going to ask you to get on your knees, kneel on your mat, okay, and have your block handy if you want it, block or blocks, okay. And the whole point is here, we're going to keep length in the spine, including in the back of the neck. All right, so your toes can be tucked if you want. Kyla, go ahead and touch your toes just to show them. Because I'm going to ask you to grab hold of your heels, okay? So, now, do you usually keep yours flat when you do it?
Yes.
Okay, then go ahead and put them flat, whatever's comfortable for you. Okay, now, reach up for the sky. And then reach your hands behind your back and clasp them. Okay? Squeezing the shoulder blades together. We've been doing this the whole time. Okay? So, what I want everybody to notice, her shoulders, her hips, and her knees are in alignment. Now her shoulders are back, but she's upright is what I'm saying. All right, so she's not going to lean back at all. What she's going to do in order to have a back bend, she's got to get her hands to her ankles without leaning back. Okay, and so Kyla, put your hands on the small of your back. If this is what you do, and this is your back bend, this is absolutely fine. And then go ahead and bend back from there. Yeah. No. Stay like that. Yeah. Just to show them that. So this is fine. This is a nice back bend. There's nothing wrong with this. Okay. If you can, go ahead and lower your hands to your shins, ankles, excuse me. Go right ahead. Yeah. Good. And now you got to push yourself back forward, Kyla. Yeah. Push more. Push your belly forward. Yeah. So your hips still have to stay over your knees. Okay? Yeah. And stretch your head back towards the wall behind you. I don't care how deeply you bend it. That's up to you and your neck. But stretch that head back. Good. And then without losing the muscle energy in your belly, so hug in, push yourself back up to an upright position. And breathe upright. And then take an inhale. And you're going to do exactly the same thing again. Okay? Without leaning back. You're going to bend back. Yeah. And get your, there you go. There you go. Yeah. And then push your hips back. Push your thighs back. Yeah. Good. Very nice. Hug your belly in, squeeze your shoulder blades together, and push yourself back up to an upright position. All right. And then from here, we're going to inhale and reach our hands to the sky. And exhale, place our hands at the top of our mat. You're going to tuck your toes, hug your belly in deeply, and push up into downward facing dog. Just make it work. Yeah. Now hug your belly into your spine, cat back. Inhale forward into a plank pose. Exhale, lower into Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale into Cobra. And exhale, back into downward facing dog. Okay, so we are going to do a little bit of balancing here. So I'm going to ask her to come up to the center of her mat, and I'm going to go ahead and ask her to face you guys. But you guys can just stay on your mat the way you are. All right, so she's going to stand on her right foot first, okay? And then you're going to take your left leg in the air straight out in front of you, okay? You can lift it as high as you can. And then you're going to bring your leg back to the center. And now you're going to take your leg out at a diagonal. Pause there. Yeah. Falling is fine. And then take it back. Now you're going to take your leg. No, don't drop it. You keep it in the air. Yeah. And then take it all the way out to the side. And bring the leg back to the center. And then take the leg at a diagonal behind you. And back to the center. Take the leg straight behind you and pause. Bring it back to the center. This gets tricky. You're going to take it at a diagonal of the other side behind you. And then back to the center. And then this is the funkiest one of all. It's out to the side. You can bring your leg in front of your leg or behind your leg, but it's out to the side. And then back to the center. And then kick it out to a diagonal in front of you on the other side. And back to the center. And then we'll wind up where we started with the leg in front of us and pause here. And release. And shake it out. All right, second side. So we'll be standing on our left leg, right leg in the air in front of you. Back to center. Front diagonal. And back to center. Sideways. And back to center. Diagonal back. There's that warrior one butt. And then back to center. Straight behind you. Back to center. Diagonal opposite side back. Back to center. And then out to the side. And back to center. Diagonal opposite front side. And back to center. And forward. And pause here. And back to center. And release. Good. All right, and now we're going to do tree pose. So, I've already forgotten. We're going to go back to the right foot. Right foot. Okay, on the right foot. Stand on the right foot, left leg in tree. And try to bring your leg up without using your hands to help it. Okay? Get your leg into your tree. And then take the arms up over the head. Exhaling the hands to heart center. And very carefully, you are going to bow forward. Bendy tree. Look wherever you have to look to make this happen, and go only as low as you can go to make this happen. Inhale back up into your upright tree. Take the legs straight out to the side of you. Draw the legs straight around in front of you. And exhale, release. Shake it out. Okay, second side tree. All right, so you're stand on the left foot. Yeah, bring the right leg into tree without touching it. On an inhale, reaching for the sky. And on an exhale, hands to heart center. Take an inhale. And on an exhale, bow forward. And just pause and breathe here. Inhale back to upright. Breathe. Take the legs straight out to the side. Swing the leg directly in front of your hip. And exhale, release. Nice. Good. Okay, and now we're going to come back on our mat into downward facing dog. Take the right leg in the air, and we're going to come into pigeon. So the right knee is going to come right by the right wrist. And then you're going to bend your back knee. Reach back, same hand to same foot. Mermaid, if mermaid is something that you do. Or another option is just grab hold of the foot with the one hand. Another option is to reach the other arm back around and grab hold of the foot with that hand. Okay? Take an inhale, and whatever pose you are in, take it deeper. Okay? Nice. Yeah. And then slowly release. Tuck the back toes. And push back into three-legged dog. And then downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward into plank pose. Exhale, take it back, downward facing dog. Left leg in the sky. Draw the knee to the nose. Pigeon on the left. So get settled. Settle your the floor of your pelvis down as deeply as you can. And then when you bend the leg, think of scooting, when you bend the right knee, I guess it is, back into your body, think of scooting that right thigh back and really trying to lower that right quadricep into the earth. And then reach back and grab the leg and nestle in again. And then your pose here, mermaid, just a clasp, whatever. One more inhale and go into this pose more deeply than you were. And then slowly release. Place the hands, tuck the toes, three-legged dog, and downward facing dog. And then I'm going to ask you just to go ahead and lie down on your back on your mat with the block underneath your sacrum, okay? So the flat of the block on its lowest level. Yeah. So kind of put your hips in the air. Yeah, and then put your sacrum on the block. There you go. Yeah. And then draw your knees into your chest, keeping your arms out to the side, either in T-shape or cactus. You're going to just simply roll the knees over to the right, and they're not going to hit the floor. Even if they can, you're not going to let them. So the inside of your knees stay together. Yeah. So yeah, it's okay. And Kyla is struggling with this. She's real flexible, so it would be very easy for her just to let those knees sink all the way over. Okay. She has to use more muscle to not let that happen. Okay, and that's what I'm asking her to do. Flexible people tend to sink into their flexibility. It's just an easy place to go. So you have to back off of that. And so then inhale back to the center, hugging your belly deeply in, and kind of pause there. Inhale again, and then exhale your legs over to the left. So you really got to push down with that right shoulder blade. You really got to hug your belly in. Yeah. And come back to the center. And now go ahead and draw your knees into your armpits. So you are drawing your knees into your chest, but it's wider than that. And kind of hug your knees with your hands, but you're drawing them out to the side, kind of, rather than hugging them together in the dead center. Okay? And the block can possibly be cutting into your back a little bit. And now go ahead and draw that arms up the inside of your legs, outside of your feet for happy baby. Yeah. And then just do your absolute dead best to use the strength of your arms to draw your knees down. And try to roll your pelvis back towards the wall behind you. Okay, at the back of your mat. Good. And then release. Take the block out from under you. And then anything you would like here before you settle into Shavasana for a moment. Or anything you want to do for a moment before you settle into Shavasana, I guess is a better way to say it. Begin to deepen your breath. Take your arms over your head for a full body stretch. And then drawing everything in towards the center, rolled over to a side. And then roll on over and press yourselves up and come around to a seat. So, I want to thank you guys for joining us here at the studio today for just a bit of a practice, okay? We're going to be opening before too long, and when it's the time for us to do so, but before too long. So I'm really excited about that. So we won't be doing these classes that much longer in this format. So thank you guys for the support you've given us so far, and I look forward to seeing everybody back in the studio when we can be here. And a happy Mother's Day to everybody. To all my students, I love you all. Thank you for being with me this morning. Namaste.